I can't wait. I had to do it. I was trying to share the video out on Facebook and a couple other pages. That way we get some people in here, but I just had to go live. I'm sorry, folks. I know I'm late. We usually do this thing by 7, so I didn't want to get in here and be late to the show, but hey, better late than never, hence the title of the show for tonight. We'll send it on over. I'm texting another angler right now. Guy wants a let's see here. He wants the information to a boat mechanic. So there we go. Sorry, folks. Yep, right? Hey, Mario, how's it going? Better late than never for sure. So I've got some cool stories to share with you guys and gals. My last week's epic battle with whatever the hell this sickness has been, I got tested for COVID a bunch of times, and not that, so it's just some super cold or something, but it's bad. It was a nasty one, and I don't know if you guys can still hear it in my voice, but yeah, that one, I've just been laid out for most of the week. I got a chance to head to the California Delta. Hopefully you guys got a chance to watch that video. It just went live this morning. For all the members, it went live a couple days ago. And I've got a couple of little short clip videos. So I wanted to talk to you guys and, just admit something, basically, that a lot of my trips, I go out and I catch a lot of fish and I have a good time. We catch some big ones. We do some cool videos. But, there's a lot of trips you guys don't see. Not necessarily a lot, because honestly, it don't happen too often. I'd say one out of every, and then during certain times of the year, it's like none. But then as you get into like maybe one of the summer trips when you're kind of trying to figure out like the pattern change, because they can be really active. Usually it happens in the fall to winter. You can have a couple days where you either blanket or you only get 1 or 2 fish. So I've got a bunch of cool little episodes where I'm out fishing and I'm out on the lake for the day enjoying myself. I only get a fish or two, because sometimes too, especially when I'm by myself or if I've just got someone with me who's real chill, I like to just go out and just drift around. If it's not very windy and there's like a slight wind, let the wind just blow me along, and I'll just adjust myself from shallow to deep. I'll pick an area and just say, well, we hope the fish are here. Just go and just chill and just fish thorough. You have fun. And on those days, maybe half the day, or not even half, like a third of the day goes by, a fourth of the day goes by, and you realize, well, hey man, this sucks. We don't have any fish, or we got one dink. You don't got nothing on video, or you got no fish, right? You start smashing around, and then fishing starts becoming a little challenging, and then you maybe miss a bite, lose a fish, whatever, but you get one, right? Let's say you get 1 or 2 and just have a tough day. Those days happen. And they happen every once, not that often, like I said, but they happen enough that I think that, I don't know, maybe it'd be cool to share a video with you guys, do a video, like a combination of multiple trips I've been on where I've recorded myself and I'm out talking to everybody and I'm casting, I'm reeling, and the whole day goes by and I get 1, maybe 2 fish. So I've got a couple of those. I think I'm going to compile them so that the video's not that boring. And then we can make it a little longer. And then in between, maybe I'll edit, or what I'll do is I'll watch my own videos. So, and then we'll put all that together in one video so I kind of can react and talk to you about what's going on each one of those trips. So that should be a cool new little format I'm going to play with. I have a lot of footage like that over like the last year of stuff, maybe that I usually delete all that stuff, but I do have like the last 3 or 4 trips that have been tough out of like the last maybe 20. And I saved them thinking about that idea. So I've got a couple of tough trips saved up, and I think we're going to do a hey, fishing kicks all our butts every once in a while, or at least some of us. And you can't win them all. So just, having a good time out there, all that good stuff. I think it helps to not always act like you're going to go out and crush, 15, 20 pounds of bass for your best five and have a great day. And it's just going to always be, rainbows and, or, just big bass on the end. We wish and we hope for that, but that's not always the case. So anyways, I'm going to probably do a couple videos of those. So we'll see how it goes. One or two. I like to make different content. So I'll do catching cooks every once in a while. So like if the last one, I think we did a homemade clam chowder, and I caught like a big old trout like this. And we cooked it up in the house. It was bomb. So anyways, I've got, I think, like close to 300 and something videos now. So there's a lot of stuff in the past, like I floated the river. I've been in a rubber raft, catching bass, spinning in circles, getting towed around. I don't think I've got any kayak videos because I did have a kayak for a short while, flipped that thing, was pissed off at it, was like, screw a kayak because I just had a cheap one. So I was like, and I've caught fish out of it. I think I might even I think I do have a kayak video at Lake Eastman. Because I'm pretty sure that, I caught fish that day and I had my GoPro. So I don't know if I put that video out or not, but yeah. So anyways, we do a bunch of different stuff here. And today I went up to Lake McClure to go fix a heater. That's why I'm late. So sorry about that. So by the way, smash that like button if you guys get a chance. And cheers. Salute to you guys and gals out there in fishing land and internet land. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. It's Monday, right? Sucks. But hey, you just one more day closer to Friday now. So hitting the Kanawha River tomorrow. A-rigs and jerk baits, possible 5-pound smallmouth. I believe it, dude. A-rigs, jerk baits in the river sound like money to draw out some nice fish. And also, floating flies, if the current's not too crazy, those will catch them when it's real tough. And if the water's real clear and if it's cold, you just toss that sucker out there. Make sure that the fly or the little Kitech or whatever you're going to fish at the bottom isn't too close to the bottom so you don't get snagged in rocks. Toss it out there and just let it drift along, and occasionally pop it. So that what'll happen is the bobber will pop and pull, and then the line down there will pull the fish like this. And it'll act erratic, but in general, it'll just move with the current. And if you use a Kitech, the natural paddle tail, it's just swimming along, and it'll go real slow. But if the current's roaring or moving, those aren't the greatest. But blade bait can work. So good luck. Get them, smash them. Sounds like you got a good game plan. A-rigs and jerk baits. So great place to start. I love throwing A-rigs. You guys don't see me do it very much in the videos, but I do throw them every once in a while, and I do love sticking them on it. It's like the spinner bait. The A-rig and the spinner bait are two of my favorite lures, but I've only been really recording the last 2 years, let's say, and I've been really focused the year before on just trying to catch numbers and make, grow the channel and impress people, like in a sense, like, hey, like I can catch a bunch of fish. Hey, check it out. I ain't gonna lie, right? So I was out there focusing on catching the fish, which put me heavily on the drop shot and the Ned rig for like the first year. Now I did a bunch of different stuff. I got a double digit on a jig, and you guys will see if you guys watch or follow the channel throughout Kelsey. I really dialed in using all kinds of different baits in hydrilla, weeds, weed edges, wood, all kinds of stuff. And then I put that same concept into open water and treat rocks kind of like weed, where like you got a rocky point, and then same thing as like a weed edge. So you might have down there a weed edge, but what a spot where the weeds stick out more. And then that's where there's going to be a big bass just sitting up like the king of the king spots. And you can even find little spots on spots. So obviously guys are going to go fish a rocky point, right? But say you got a plain bird looking ass shoreline. Doesn't really look very good. But at one particular spot, down this stretch of plain shore, there's like a outcropping of rocks and stuff that's not even very big. They're just and they stick out a foot, 2, 3 feet into the water. Those will transition down. That's going to be where that whole stretch looks crappy, right? Say it's just a plain 45 down or whatever. There's not a lot of stuff. The fish will be on that. And a lot of guys pass that kind of fish and stuff up. So what'll happen is guys will go to like the premier, which is a good idea, right? But if you're tournament fishing and you've got a couple spots you're dialed into and you go hammer those, and you got what you got and you're halfway through the day and you're not knowing what to do, you want to search and find big fish, what you can do is you can spot hop and fish really the spot on the spots. And what guys will be doing is they'll either be locked on points if that's where they're at, or in the backs of creeks and cuts, or you'll see dudes just covering water, right? Just smashing around looking if it's spawn or if the fish are chasing bait fish or top water, stuff like that. But what a lot of guys can miss is by super trying to overly cherry pick spots, they miss sometimes the best spots. And sometimes the best spots are in the worst looking spots. So like I said, let's say you see an area, the shoreline, it just looks ugly to you. There's plain, there's no cover, there's nothing there. And in the middle of this, there's one log, there's one tree. The biggest fish that would possibly be over there will be on that one tree, right? There may be some in some other areas, but you go right up to that spot, cherry pick out your fish and move on to the next one like that, or cover water. And what you're doing is you're looking for things that stand out and change, right? So that's what I've been doing too a lot, was getting out there and learning, because I've thrown a lot of lures my whole life, but this last 2 years with Kelsey and with working for myself, having my little YouTube channel here, I've been able to expound upon other skills and get better at other lures that I really wasn't always confident on. I've thrown a jerkbait since I was like 16, right? But I'd never really been one of my favorite lures. True story, about 10 years ago in a tournament, a Future Pro Tour tournament on Lake Don Pedro, I was probably, it was me and my son or me solo, and I had three or four fish, middle of the road pack finish type thing, and was covering water. And I went to this shoreline that nobody ever goes to. It's lame. It's just not, you'll never see guys at Don Pedro fish it. And if I show it to you guys, you guys will be like, yeah, I don't see guys there that often. But what I found out, I know that shoreline now by heart. It's a very special shoreline to me, actually. And I went down that shoreline and caught a ton of nice, decent 2-pound and so fish. And I had like a decent little weight, right? But I was still not going to get like a check yet. I was close. Like, so maybe I would have been in out of 80 boats. I probably would have been in like 30th or something, right? Maybe something like that. And I'm on a good spot and I'm using a jerk bait, right? And all my fish have been 2 pounds and below or something. Maybe a couple like 2.5 or something, maybe 3. It wasn't the greatest day. It was a tournament. It was good for numbers, but the size wasn't all there, if I remember correctly. And I'm covering water, and there's, like I said, it was just a spot on a spot. And I just approached it knowing, and just the setup that this is going to be where there's going to be a nice one if there's one there. Cast way past it, right? And I bring my jerk bait in, pause, rip, pause, about 3 seconds, rip, pause, right? That's kind of my cadence. My standard cadence for a jerk bait is either tap, fast, just tap, reel, like a fast, like a smaller jerks. So my bait's just going like this, or and then just wait. And then sometimes I'll even go 10, 15-second pauses. and hang out for a while just to see if I get a dead stick hit. If you do, then trust me, you need to keep doing that because there's more fish down there. They're just needing that time, finesse style strike. So and that's how today was with the cold bite. With the cold front, the bite wasn't really great. I got to go up and fix a heater, or at least look at one, and electrical crazy issue, whole different story. But wow, whole different story. But I was able to go hit the lake for like 45 minutes, and I tried a jerk bait, I tried a drop shot, I tried everything, and I fished for about 35 minutes, right? And I was like, well, before I go home, let me throw this LV 500. So I bombed this LV 500 everywhere I've been throwing everything else. And on the first cast, I get what I'm pretty sure is a little, and I miss it. I'm like, what? And then I start doing my usual little hop. Oh, Charles Chalk, nice to see you. Jeffrey Garcia, nice to see you. Gerbs, RC Creative, everybody, thanks for joining. I'm going to finish my little story and then we'll get into it. But I was just doing my typical little hops where I use my LV 500 like a jig, and I'm real soft with it. And I kept feeling, when you lift up and you kind of feel, and then you kind of your pull almost either it loses tension, almost like a bite, because a weight has been taken off when the lure hits the bottom, and it's a very faint, soft feeling. If you guys know what I'm talking about, when you throw your bait out there and you follow your line down and you leave slack, but it's not like ultra slack, it's just you're feeding it out, and then when your bait thumps and hits, if you're attentive, you'll feel that. Or right, like I said, bottom bouncer, you hit the bottom, lift your rod up, let your lure come up 2 or 3 feet, and then when it hits, you feel that contact with the bottom, right? Well, that contact with the bottom had a very specific feel. Whether it was mud or dirt or rock, you could kind of feel it had a certain feel to it. And I just would feel this light little, just once, just like as it was hitting or after it hit, it was weird. And I said, I think that's a fish. I'll get in. Okay. I bomb it right back over there. Same thing. Just this light little, and I swung, boom, nice spotted bass in about 20 feet deep, out there at Lake McClure. And it was nice, but I got myself into some shite. I hiked because the lake's low. So I hiked all the way down and fished, right? And then I realized I got to hike all the way back up now. And that wasn't no joke, man. I tell you what, I got up there like heaving and hey, I know. How's it going? Yeah, right now the bite, I swear I'm getting nice fish every once in a while, and I'm noticing the bites, even at the Delta. I'm watching these fish at the Delta hit my lure, and I'm not barely feeling it. And I've got expensive G Loomis stuff too. I've got some good stuff, Curado, got some DC stuff. Now I'm finally stepping it up a little bit, right? So I get out there and I'm out there fishing, and you could just see your lure go to the side, and you don't feel it at all. Even like with tight line, you're barely feeling it. You're just feeling this. And I'm talking the jerk bait bite included. What'll happen is you'll go to re-jerk and just you have a fish on. If your cadence is right, or if you're tuned in and you don't have too much slack, but not too much or too little. If your slack level was just right, you would feel this little like that, and that's all you'd need, and we were getting them. But little info, if you guys are out there tournament fishing or whatever, if you're in the Delta right now, we worked our ass off to try to find these bass. And I know a lot of it had to do with the difference between whether we were in fog cover or when the sun came out. But when the sun did come out, we were using jerk baits and tearing fish up, right? However, we couldn't get anything over 2 pounds. Got some keepers, and we got about 100 little dudes like this, right? So the end of the day, Well, the other dude starts throwing a Nico or whatever rigged Cinco, wacky rig with the little nail weight in the side. It'd fall down and then, do the little nice little octopus looking, squid looking, and then fall down straight. So, but he was using white. So you could see his lure playing this day, even like 8 feet down. The water was real clear. We were out at Frank's track. And if you're also out at the Delta, I don't know if you're aware, but they built a wall up on the San Joaquin River or near the San Joaquin River where it would feed into Frank's track. And they've completely cut off the tidal flow to the whole Russo's Marina, the whole Frank's track. I think they're doing like something's going on. I think it's temporary, but I was there all day and the tide barely ever changed or moved. And the water level barely raised and lowered. Like over the course of 10 hours, it barely moved like a foot or two. And you can tell the water was like an hour later, you look and the water, you're higher. You're like, oh, that's a little higher, but it's not like usual. And a couple hours later, right, you're maybe a little lower, but it was like not like usual. And you'd look down, and not once in the day did the weeds ever move. They were just almost completely perfectly upright. It was crazy. You went to Barrett South Ramp? Yeah, I was up at the boat club taking a look at someone's heater, and it turned out to be a electrical issue, and the panel was popping and sparking. And I shut the power to the furnace off, completely killed the breaker. And I went over there, and the hot leg was dead from the breaker, but the neutral still had power. So somehow the neutral leg was hot. So very unsafe condition, pretty freaky. Oh yeah, you and Jeremy went, huh? Did you guys whack them? Oh, yeah, in 40 to 60 feet deep, those will be bass. They may even be the largemouth too right now. I notice a lot of guys are catching spots. So, like, shout out to Ryan Cook if you want to just check him out on Facebook. We don't chat very much anymore, but hey, I've just been noticing when I see his posts, he's catching a lot of spotted bass. He throws a jig and he fishes from like 1 to maybe 35, 40 feet. Most of the time he'll drop shot deep. He's taking the kids out, stuff like that to a certain level, right? But I've normally caught him from 40 to 70 feet deep, depending on the time of year. And right now those are either catfish or those are probably largemouth down there. So I know also right now that the sculpin, it depends on the lake that you're in, but the sculpin, I think they should be spawning in October / early November, which is right now. And I remember catching fish at New Maloney's in Don Pedro on the Ned rig in 40, 45 feet of water, anywhere from 30 to about 60 feet deep at New Maloney's. We'd sit up in about 25, 30 feet of water, and we would see fish sometimes at 30, 32, or we'd hover out and we see them down at 40, right? And then if we went out, we'd see them up to about 60, 65 feet deep. So we'd pull back and we'd bomb our Ned rigs and drop shots and LV 500s out into 60, 70 feet deep and just slowly work them up. And we were murking it and just killing it. But that's usually a little bit later on in the year. So right now, being that my boat has been without a fish finder for the last 8 months. So I have not had a fish finder. So luckily I was able to get through spawn and summer simply through just skill and knowledge and the bass being shallow. Right. So just switching up and finding, do they want them on the bottom? Are they using reaction, fishing the usual haunts, backs of creeks and channels, or secondary points, main lake points, rock piles, whatever, anything that looked juicy and big and different. Right. So that's, what I was covering most of the year, unless it was direct spawn, then I'm looking for spawn material. Right. Definitely usually not on main lake points. However, big bass will spawn in some crazy spots. So if you want the monsters. Not usually a main lake point, but they'll be on something you may not think. And beware of monsters hang out on cables. So if you fish McClure or Don Pedro, never underestimate the power of a random ass cable. I swear to God, if you're sitting there and there's a shoreline just and then there's a cable going out and maybe a buoy, fish that cable. Spotted bass will like traverse from cable to cable, or they'll follow the cables. I've seen them with my own two eyes multiple times. It's just nuts. That's just crazy. I've even seen largies do it, but it seems like spots are really notorious for that. So tough day. Got on some nice spots on Saturday at the same ramp with my wife. He caught one. Nice. I got one at McClure today. So it was fun. I was only there 45 minutes. Fish seem to be in the 15 to 25 foot range. I'm fishing from shore, so I know fish finder, but I would assume it was anywhere from probably 18 to about 20, 25 feet, maybe. Wasn't much deeper than that. Wasn't no shallower than at least 15. So, but I have a feeling I was in the 20-ish range, and I got a couple bites in that same range. I seen a couple bass towards the top of the water as well, back where I couldn't get to because I was on shore and I was in the cuts. So like, and it was all steep, and I just had this little section that I could fish real thorough, and I just decided that's where I wanted to go. I went there, I got a fish. It was cool, but I seen some activity and stuff, and I was tossing my jerk bait around, really trying to get one like that, but I think my jerk bait I was using at McClure is more for like the Delta. I was using too big of an SP pointer, real big, long suspended jerk bait going down 6 to 8 feet. I think I probably should have been throwing like a 2 to 3 foot dive in suspending, or even a 4-footer, but like something like a smaller profile. Really, really matters. Match the hatch. That's why I really think that's why I got my fish on the LV 500. It's a lot smaller profile. A blade bait, those are killer right now. With the way the wind was today, I mean, I think a float and fly would have murked it big time. You can just change your depth on your fly or your bait, whatever you're using. So a little tip for the float and fly, man, you can also do what I like to call the drift rig, right? So instead of a float and fly, you can just take a regular old slip slider little round bobber, right? And use a drop shot hook, use a little spear point or something, give yourself a leader of whatever you want, and start with, let's say, 2, 3, 4 feet, 5 feet, whatever, depends on how deep you're fishing. Say the fish are suspended 10, 15 feet, then give yourself a 10-foot leader. It becomes harder to cast like that, but you can just leave the nose hooked bait sitting in the water, and then you can have the bobber a couple feet, and then when you cast it, as long as the bait's not super heavy, it won't be too bad. And you can whip like little Kitex, little stick baits like Ansky's tackle box, little finesse worms are pretty good. Little tiny little drop shot worms, right? And then you just let the bobber and the worm float and drift, and then pop the bobber every once in a while, and you'll move the worm. And anything that can see that will come up and eat it. Anything that's suspended anywhere near it. So say you're 15 feet deep and fish are suspended just over it, they're probably going to look down and hit it. Or if they're suspended just a little bit under, so they're 20 feet deep and you got 12-foot bobber, and even though that's an 8-foot difference and it's just moving real slow and you pop it every once in a while, bass will come up, check it. It's just a killer lure. So I didn't have it tied on, but I'm going to play with that thing this year and see if I can master it and catch some good fish with it. But I'm really excited to hopefully get into smallmouth fishing upcoming year and do some like high alpine fishing with the boat. The other thing is also tournament fishing is going to be on next year. I'm going to get into it. So I'm probably going to pick 1 or 2 partners, tell everybody, hey, sorry, like I'll roll a random tourney with people. If I don't have a partner, they don't have one, and I have a day open, okay, I'm going to try to hit up as many circuits as I can, depending, God willing, on finances, time, and all that stuff. But, I'm going to sign up for a few circuits and roll it out to try to get to the Tournament of Champions, all that good stuff. Try to shoot for Angler of the Year, all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens. Yep, we're gonna be doing that next year. My whole thing, I haven't been doing tournaments this whole last year was last year was very depressing, because the year before, because I fished like 10 tournaments, and they're in my videos too. I've probably fished a little more than that, maybe 12, and I was just outside the money, almost won a bunch of them. I just had some problems with my gear. I think to be honest and critical of my own skills, my understanding of how to use what on what. I was going through stages where we were night tournament fishing, and I was dumping 3 to 5 pound bass consistently. I was dumping 75% of the fish that I was hooking on two specific key lures, and I'm very good with those two key lures. And what I was doing wrong had to do with my excitement levels of being in a tournament, my sight not being there, and I was over fighting and horsing these fish in a certain way. And then when they came to jump, I wasn't doing the correct thing, and I was losing them every time they jumped. And I was using a big old heavy jig, so it had a lot of swing. So whenever the bass shook its head, that jig just got flung out. I was doing all the stuff wrong, and I couldn't see. So usually in the daytime, I can fight my fish, and if they need line, give them line, whatever. But I can watch that line start to rise up, and I can know that bass is about to jump. Even if I'm fighting it, I'm trying to keep it down. So as that bass comes to jump, what I'll like to do is I'll actually just kind of stop or slow down and just put and maintain pressure, right? And I don't want to reel too hard and too fast, and you don't want to stop either. You don't want to like not keep reeling. It's kind of like you want, and if you're fighting them like this, so like you're using a jig, you get a bite, click, and you go boom, and then you're fighting them like this, and you don't have time to turn like this. All right, when they jump, you got to kind of lean, lean forward into them with your rod, and then just kind of just not really stop reeling, but slow down and just let them jump and do their thing. And you can use your body and your rod to maintain pressure on them. And it was like understanding what I was doing wrong in these tournaments. It was pissing me off because they were all night tournaments. Because it was like I didn't get in time for the early ones, so I did a bunch of these night tournaments, and I came really close. I just was frustrated. I was so pissed off at myself. And so I was like, all right, I got to take some time and get things right. So I did. And then right around that time, my stupid boat, man, I'm at the Delta smashing around. Well, my live well, oh, talk about bad timing. I get a 10 pounder out at Don Pedro. And my live well is also taking a dump on me. And so had a bad outcome with that. And so my live well's been out of commission for like the last year or so. And you'd think, well, can't you just get it fixed? It's easy. Well, the pump works when you switch it into the bilges spot, but the fuse isn't bad. So it's got to be the wiring or a melted connection or something. And also, like, there's certain things, the gas gauge don't read. There's a couple of other little things, like there's a light on the inside that don't work, but the two main ones kind of work. They work for night. There's issues with the drain underneath the live well. It became disconnected, and the nitro that I have is autofill. So there's a hole in the bottom of the boat that has a tube that goes to this valve. And when you get in the water goes in there and it fills your live well up to whatever buoyancy level your boat is. So it usually fills your live well up with about 2 inches of standing water, and that's it. Then you flip on the pump to bring in the rest, right? And then the other one, I can pump the water out, right? And so and then the other hole is my drain. So you got 3 on the back, right? And what's happening is the tube became disconnected. So my boat was just filling up with water these last like few trips. So I'd have to run the bilge every hour. And then I got the bright idea of getting some super sticky duct tape and I duct taped that hole so water can't go in. So now I can smash around and fish, have fun all day, but I can't save my fish. So I can't get one of them cool, nice little double fisted pictures. Hey, look how nice. Because honestly, if you look at my trips, it's like, okay, some fish here, some fish there. But I usually have some 4-pounders, some 5-pounders, some 3-pounders. If I'm double fisting those along with some twos hidden in there, you can and take the right angle, you look like you got a monster bag, right? And that's what a lot of guys do for their thumbnails. I'm not trying to do that, but I would at least like some glory shots, right? Where it's like, yeah, look at what we did at the end of the day. Keep your best 5 in a nice, healthy live well. I want to get back into tournament fishing. So, long story short, I had to just like break myself and just do it because I know it's going to be expensive, and I don't really have the money, but I do, and I may not necessarily have it later. So it's like you're either going to do it now or you don't do it at all, and then we'll figure it all out. Because I do have so much cash, but I'm like, right? I work for myself. I own my own business, and the winter time can be real slow out here in the Central Valley, California for heating. So people need their heaters, but it's not like, okay, so like old people don't like being without heat. Younger people, if their heater works, they'll say something, but at the same time, most of these homes are insulated pretty well, and if it's their own home that they own it, they might kind of wait a while. Or a lot of people have their own preset companies. It's not so much of an emergency, let's say. So in the summertime, and it's 100 here, ACs break just left and right. They're blowing up everywhere. So everybody's like, there's not enough air conditioning companies. In the summertime, it's like a unit. In the wintertime, it's like a unit breaks here, unit breaks there. Unit breaks here, unit breaks there. So the companies that are entrenched, they stay busy, they're fine. But the smaller guy doesn't have as much growth during the winter. So people who use me during the summer, if their heater breaks, sure, I'll get some calls, marketing, stuff like that. But it's like, anyways, long story short, that's what it's like. A small window into owning your own business. But I tell you, it's great to work for yourself if you could do it, control your own hours, kind of control your own destiny in life, and just, man, go at it, right? So go hard. Anyways, cheers and salute to you guys and gals, you fellow fishermen and women out there in internet land. Again, I know it's a Monday. Hope you guys have a great week, right? Hope you guys had a great weekend, and let's check out some comments here. So Blade Bait got me paid at Skunk Lake last week. Easy 20-pound bag, right? Set my PB. I'm telling you, man, a Blade Bait's crazy. I've been throwing those things. So we talked about tourneys right here. 1790 Bass Club is cool if I want small groups. Yeah, man, I'm down to go fish every once in a while. Like this year, I've got guys that have invited me on tournaments, and what happens is they, a lot of the times they'll ask me or they'll rely on me to like be the skill of the bunch, and I'm like, look, I can fish pretty good, but it's like when I'm the captain and I fish my way, and they'll even be like, will you be the, and it's like, nah, because I'd rather just be the co-angler. If I'm riding in someone else's boat, I'm just going to shut up and fish and try to get the net for you. And then you got your, if you want my input, I might I'll give you my 2 cents, but I don't like when it feels like, oh, you're YouTube, man, we need, it's like, man, that makes it not so fun. It's like, I just want to go out there and have a good time. And, I don't stress too much when I'm tournament fishing by myself. My favorite thing to do, to be honest, is just go tournament fish with my son or by myself, like literally me against everybody else. I don't care. I don't always, I don't win, but I've done it when I got my other boat, before I had my YouTube channel, I did it in the Future Pro Tour. And I didn't get any wood. I got a bunch of wood fishing with some co-anglers before. But when I did it by myself, I always came just outside the money. But damn it, that was all by myself. And I'm pretty proud of being a solo angler and coming in like 24th place out of 80 or 90 boats. You know what I mean? Or 70 boats. And sometimes I'm in like 40th place out of 80 boats. Who cares? But I like to fish solo. I just go out there and have fun. I just go fish, and it is what it is at the end of the day. And then when I do good, it's like, yes, hey, great, but I don't know, I'm down to fish with other guys and gals. I do it all the time. And I'm definitely down to tournament fish with people. But this next upcoming season, I'm hoping to be out there and having fun. And I'll share, I'm gonna bring the GoPro on so everyone will see what I'm catching them on. There won't be no lying. So like if I win a tournament and they say, "What'd you catch them on?" I'm not gonna, my video is gonna be out in a day or two, right? So it's like, am I gonna be sitting there telling people to their face that I'm catching them on a drop shot? Then the video comes out and it's like the blade bait or the jerk bait. Come on, please. So yeah, yeah. Cook's a good dude. Yeah, he knows what he's doing in these mother lode lakes. He's a smart angler. I think there's a lot of guys that are pretty good that I think, the lakes have cycles too. It depends on how it's fishing. So there are years when McClure's like a premier lake, kicks out monster fish in a certain way and pattern. Then years where it's like just a brutal tough lake, but still other guys that fish a certain way might do good at the lakes in those years, and then in other years not so good while other anglers shine. So there's, because you got jig fishermen, bottom bounce and fishermen that are going to be on them all the time. Then you got guys that are swim bait dudes and they stick some monsters. And Cook's a pretty good dude when it comes to like Maloney's, McClure, Pedro. He knows his stuff. So I know my stuff too, but I don't know about like I don't ever try to compete with people. And then I get burned out sometimes. Like I might forget or say something, and then I'm a little dyslexic, so I try not to give bad advice, but I may say something, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I meant to say. But you know I'll say like the opposite of something, but that's rare. I usually try to I'm usually on it because I fish so much too. So once something happens, I try to put people on it immediately, because the problem is guys will be like, everybody was killing it on jerk baits this last week. And that whole last week, the weather was in the 74 or 72 in the daytime. And yeah, it's cold at night, but moderate wind or no wind, right? And then here you go, okay, we're going to go out, we're going to crush it. What's everyone been killing it on? The jerk. Okay, and then you get there and the high is 68 or 65 and it's windy and it's overcast. That's a whole completely different ballpark. You may not even get one, on whatever you were getting them on the other time. And the fall can be like that. So there's these wild temperature swings. And when you're like Cook, if you're a guide, and you fish the same circuit of lakes and you fish repetitively over and over and over again, you ride those waves and you can find them. You just punking them fish. And when you beat the lake up too bad, you got to rotate, you move lakes, right? And it may take a day or two, a trip or two. So guys have bad trips, and then you find them again and you get back on that kind of that groove, right? And the lakes out here can be pretty tough and brutal to you if you don't come consistently. So like if you're a guy that like, and then so that's what I've been having to do lately. I've been having a lot of work, finances. I've been having to like work with other stuff and do a bunch of work with other companies too, because I can sub myself out. And I haven't had as much time for fishing this last few months because I've really been stressed about work and everything I've been having to try to do for the family. And so I still have fun. I go fishing. I've been producing like at least one video a week usually. I used to be pumping out 2 or 3 videos, but I got to make the money, right? I got to work. So, but when I do have that ability, I'd be out there 3 times a week making videos, out there fishing. So I cannot wait. I'm excited. As soon as my boat gets fixed and it's back in my hands in a comfortable way. That's another thing I don't talk about too, is that little by little by little by little by little, all these stupid things are building up, like what was wrong with my boat, my trailer, and other stuff. So I get all like, it gets on my mind, I get all stressed out. So all I want to do is get safely to the lake and just putt around and fish and then go home, right? I'm not into this like, So I want to be, but I can't be in that mode when I don't trust my boat, right? So I've got to get my battery switched out. My trolling motor works great, but it only lasts 4 hours now, So there's all this crap I got to do. So I'm just gonna bite the bullet now, deal with it, and I'm gonna be excited to put another year or two's worth of content on my investment, right? So I'll be able to fish for another while off of it. You got to take care of your stuff, right? So it's one of those moments. So the boat's in the shop, and I don't know how long it's going to be in the shop. It could be in the shop 2-3 weeks. It could be in the shop a month or so. I don't know. It depends on what it's going to take because there's a lot of stuff that I want this guy to do because I want my boat good and ready for tournaments and to come produce some great content for you guys. So in the meantime, shore fish, do all that stuff. Hopefully it's only in there for, like I said, a week or two. We'll see. But I'm going to get out there and just hopefully crush them. I like wintertime. Wintertime is one of my favorite times to fish. It's not as hot. I'll go out there. I don't care if I get rained on. I'll have a rain suit. I'll be all warm. I don't care. I'm a fat guy. I could be completely wet and I'll be probably pretty warm. This is California, right? So unless it's snowing, I'm doing all right. How's it going, Mike? Bash Phil. Oh, yeah. We're supposed to be fishing right now, Bubs. Yep. I wanted to go earlier, though. See, you weren't ready. I'm down tomorrow in the rain. Bubs, let's figure something out. All right, Bashafel, where you want to fish, you let me know. I'm not doing any work tomorrow. That I'm not signed up for to go work for that dude in the Bay Area. So what up? You let me know. I can get up at 5 in the morning and roll with you wherever you want, or we can go in the middle of the day. Only thing is I don't have a boat right now. So just let me know. We'll go hit up wherever, dude. I'll get my GoPros charged and we'll just go smash them. Mike. Oh man, thanks, Hanno. Appreciate you hanging out on the channel tonight. For those of you guys who can't stick around all night, I always understand. I'm appreciative if you drop in for 2-3 minutes or you drop in for the whole hour or two. And I'm always happy to see my good friends on here like Bashafel. Well, my best friend right there. That's my brother. Doesn't get no closer than that, dude. We're blood. So let's see what we got. So today I picked me up a hat for Oakdale High School Bass Club. Bought one to support for their gear. High schools are now fishing as a sport and compete. How cool is that? Heck yeah. Mario with Let's Get It Fishing. Man, I hope they start doing that in Merced, Outwater. I would gladly go and, pick a school or two to support. That'd be awesome. I'd even be willing to try to donate it, whatever I can to the team to try to help get them gear or shirts, pay for some team shirts at Inside Lines or something. That'd be cool. I'm all for the kids and the youth. So hey, Big Bear from Denmark, Europe. Hope you're having a great night. Please don't destroy me with one bash because I said bear. Hey. Oh, that's all right. Got me one of me own today. Let's roll. Text me when you're done, brother. Yeah, when I'm done, I'll reach out to you. I'm down to go wherever you guys want. So, okay. Yeah, I got to talk to this. I'll help this lady out after we get back from fishing. Got a friend that needs a faucet put in. So we'll help her out. But yeah, hey, this beer is for you. Almost dusted it in one drink. Check this out. Oh, the damn camera will zoom in on it. There we go. 8.7. This stuff's like 9%. It's strong. Like, woo. I appreciate it. I've been collecting it for a long time. There's a bunch of stuff missing. I'm rearranging it. I have a ton of autograph stuff and toys and baseball bats. This stuff right here, this particular stuff are toys from the toy drive where I take people fishing and they give me money or toys. And then at the end of the year, I take care of kids for Christmas. So I have a box of toys right here. I got a ton of toys. I got all kinds of stuff. And I got a bunch of bikes over here and a bunch of other stuff. So that, we're going to try to take care of as many kids as we can for Christmas this year. We run a toy drive, and I take people fishing, and they donate toys or money, and I go buy the toys. And I got about enough for probably 40 or so kids, 30 to 40 kids this year, maybe a little more. Not quite sure. We did 200 last year, so it's been slow this year. Since the Kelsey Bass Ranch membership went away and they closed the Bass Ranch, I noticed there isn't as much of an enthusiasm to get out and go fishing with me. I mean, guys like to go. I got guys that, go out on trips with me, but I'm not a guide, and I'm okay at fishing. I'm pretty good. And there are times where I can put you on them, but you got to understand I'm a low stress level, chill type of person. So I'm not like usually like hunting, like, so, but I'll point out tips and I'll tell you like the best stuff. Like I've got 4 double digits now, and my buddy Basha Fell, he's got like, what the hell does he have? Like 11 or 12? I don't know. He's got like 20 double digits. He's got a ton of double digits. And he's told me every story. I've been there with him for like 4 or 5 of them, right? He was there for my first one. Like, boom, man. So I've seen a lot of double digit bass get caught. I swear to God. And I've been around a lot of 8+ bass getting caught, and I could tell you all the tips and stuff, like what I've seen. I try to share. I'm not like a crab. I try to help other people, because also I noticed fishing changes. I mean, we used to catch double digits on spinner baits, and if you told everybody, hey man, bro, the secret lure is a spinner bait, they're gonna be like, this guy, right? But back in the days when everybody was worm fishing, bottom bouncing and throwing jigs or worms and almost it, and those guys throwing the jerk baits and spinner baits and crank baits, they were getting doubled. And that was us kids. Us kids were out there because it was easier for us to just run around the shoreline with a spinner bait and catch fish, and than to sit there and bottom bounce all day and get snagged and like frustrated because you're from shore. So it was easier to reaction fish from shore because you didn't get snagged. Excuse me. And as young children and young adults, we couldn't afford a bunch of stuff, right? So it's easier to stand there on the shore and roll your spinnerbait just over the bottom or over the top than it is to sit there and every 3 casts, 4 casts, snag your bottom bouncer and pop, break your line, retie. So as kids, we just go throw those spinnerbaits, throw crankbaits, and we catch monster bass, right? I'm talking hogs. So, and then you get into it and you start getting good, and then you start catching more fish, but you start catching less bigger fish. So I've gone back to that realization that if you want to catch monsters, you need to just throw mostly big baits in reaction. Things like crankbaits, spinner baits, swim baits, jigs, drop shots and Ned rigs will catch big fish. I've got 8.5 pounder on a drop shot, but I got way more bigger fish on crankbaits and stuff. So I'll be right back. I got to take a pee. So my back door is right here. So give me a second, folks. Appreciate it. And I'd be thinking to myself, okay, if we're going to go fishing tomorrow and it's going to be raining and we're on shore, that means it's going to be muddy. I have to figure out where can we go where we can either stay out of the rain, where it's more rocky, or gravel, less mud, and or has better fishing access, kind of like the Delta, where we could just fish a levee and then walk around and fish it. And then we can just pop into the car and go to a different spot. Hey, how's it going? I'm not human. Hey, Sharoten. Thank you for doing that for kids. First time here, so don't know that. It's a mile between good people today. So glad to meet one. Hey, thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. I do the best I can. So if you really want to see, I appreciate you coming to the channel. Please smash the subscribe and like button. But also, if you want, check out Fishmas 2020. It's a 50-minute video, but it takes a few minutes introducing you to all the anglers who donated throughout 2020 and who went on fishing trips with me. And then you get to meet some of the children and families that I donated the toys to. You get to see the house just filled with toys. You get to see us wrapping, and you get to see us stuffing the cars up with all this cool stuff. So it's called Fishmas 2020. So I'm hoping to do something like that again this year. I'm hoping to do it every year from now on. Don't ever want to stop. And I used to do it ever since 2006 when my son passed away. So my very first one was in 2007. And sometimes I'd skip a couple years if I wasn't doing financially too good. But every year that I had extra, I always gave. And it started with usually being able to take care of like 3 families, and then it was 4 or 5 families, and it was 6, 7 families. And then when I made the YouTube channel, actually right before, I think my biggest, it was like 30 families or so. And then when I hit my YouTube channel and I was able to just get more influence, all of a sudden 200 kids, and it was just like, man, it's been an awesome experience. So I'm very happy to help out. So anyways, thanks. I am not human. How's it going? Oh, glad I saved the spider. Yeah, I got 2 videos, actually 4. So I talked a little bit briefly earlier about how we don't always kill them every fishing trip we go on, and how I've actually got a few fishing videos where I only catch 1 or 2 fish. I haven't shared those with you guys. I also have been talking a little bit more in my videos. I haven't really shared those with you guys, and I need to edit it down and maybe just do some of those and maybe combine a couple trips into one video. But for example, today I got some really cool footage of 2 tarantulas. I got footage of I've seen like 20 or 30 of them, but I got 2 that were right next to each other, and I'm taking cool video of them. They're going right up to the camera, walking along, real clear and clean footage. I helped one across the road, and then the other one was trying to go across the road. And I'm like, no, you don't want to go that way, because they're real busy. The road was busy at that time, kind of. So I was taking footage and video of it. So I figured, let me take some cell phone footage. So I uploaded a quick little shorts. But anyways, I went out to this job, the electrical panel sparking and doing some crazy stuff. I checked the voltage. They had voltage. They had high voltage going through their neutral line, very unsafe. So I was like, whoa, we need to get an electrician here. I can't mess with your heater. This is a problem. I killed the breaker to the furnace, and the furnace still had power because the neutral line is not fed through the breaker. It's on the bus bar, so something was real screwed up. I was like, we gotta have an electrician out here. So anyways, I was able to then go fish because it was up at McClure. So I went out, I threw a jerk bait, and then I threw a drop shot, right? And I've got it all on video, and I'm talking and chilling with you guys. I'm showing you my walk down. And I'm out there fishing, and I can't get anything on anything. And I throw the LV 500, and sure enough, first cast, I get a bite. So I hit record, and I get it, boom. And I got my second, it was on my second cast, I got the fish. So had fun, went out there, and I just caught one. So I'm thinking I'm going to start sharing some of those video with you guys and gals. It's not like about ego or anything. So I don't got to go out and smash 100 fish. Sometimes maybe just go out and show you guys some cool footage, some tarantulas walking around, and a bass or 2, right? Along with some chat and conversation. So we'll try it out. I do like to go out and smash the bass like every time, though. I want to rip lips and catch fish, but I'll settle with one or two. I'm happy. I guess I'm spoiled, right? Been doing pretty good the last couple of years. I got a double digit every year. I've got a couple of sixes and sevens and stuff, bunch of fives and fours. But other than the Mondos, there's been a lot of like thousands of 1 and 2 pounders. So hopefully this upcoming year, we're going to focus on go big or go home, power fishing and bigger baits, more reactive stuff. And if we bomb it, we bomb it. Either that or I'll just start throwing bottom bouncer and try to catch one or two and share the fun with you guys. I threw the kitchen sink today. And, I don't know if you guys caught my last video at the Delta. It was a hoot. I caught a fish while I was taking a pee, and I was like, I'm all recording them. Look, Ma, no hair. They don't show nothing or nothing. And the guys in there are laughing so hard. They're uncontrollably breaking up. We're cracking jokes about 2 rod stamps and stuff, or 2 poles with one bear. We were just having fun. We went and pigged out, had a good time at the sugar barge. So killed a nice 12-point doe on my 10 acres Saturday, just in time for Thanksgiving. Heck yeah. Yeah, always good. Make some jerky out of it. 12-point deer. Did he say doe? Did I say doe? Doe. Oh, yeah, doe. RC, good catch. Deer or buck, to be exact. Yeah. Do, re, mi. But yeah, that's good, man. Make some, venison? Lots of meat. Good old pig, too, is always good to kill, man. Oh, man, the backstrap. I had some wild pig just the other day, and it's very strong. It was good, too, but it was just real strong, the flavor, real gamey. I liked it. So, yes, doe is a deer, female deer. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a big hunter. Yep, it was nice. Hit it with first arrow. Nice. There you go. Oh. Well, congratulations. I would really like to go bow hunting and some other form of hunting, but I can't have a gun. I need to get that right back somehow and fight it. I'm innocent, 19-year-old 20, 21-year-old mistake too that I didn't even do. And I was too much of a wimp to fight for myself in the court system and took a deal so I wouldn't have to I got scared. And so my whole life, I haven't been able to do that stuff since I was like 19. When I was 18, I had one. I used it a bunch, but womp, womp, womp. So I'd definitely love to, at least from the time being, go out and do some bow hunting, something like that. That'd be great. And I know this is the time most fishermen put their boat up and hunt. So maybe I should take this month off. Not off, but that I don't have my boat, and go invest in a decent little compound bow or hunting bow, and do some target practice and then go at it. I took archery in high school, and then I took archery as a elective at one time, and I'm okay at it. Never really spent much time on it. Native American, half Native American. So let's hope I got something in my blood that'll help me out, right? Yeah, that'd be cool. Make some hunting content. Yeah, I can have a bow. Yeah, dude, if a plane ticket wasn't so expensive, or the stupid vax mandate, man. I don't like being told what to do. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I ain't gonna get no damn jab just to fly. And then I'm getting spooked to see all these stories. I'm like, oh, I don't just willy-nilly no deer hunt. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. You got to worry about your scent, your gear, your everything. Most guys will some guys set up blinds and, in high traffic areas, wait for them. Other guys go stalk them or wait in areas where they know they'll be. I'd be a stalker myself because being how much outdoors I've been, I've seen plenty of wildlife that I could have stalked or had a chance to. I know what to look for and how to act. I know the signs. I know how to read tracks. I know where they're going to be. They're going to be always near water and shade. So, not rocket science, depending unless you have it where it's nothing but water and shade. They could be everywhere. And you're like, well, 'cause I know some, real foresty areas, but there's signs, their droppings, where they make their beds at, their game trails, right? So it'd be fun to hunt and know which direction the wind's going. Say, okay, we know there should be deer up over here, but the wind's going this way, so let's go that way. It's like cool little strategy. Fly Spirit out of Oakland. Yeah, their right movement, all that good stuff. Oh, I could imagine. Well, that's life. I am human. I feel the same way. Yeah. Hey, Funk. You know what? I've been talking to the wife. I really, we might be looking at maybe investing or buying. It just depends on all the factors because I think one of us has to move out there and work for like 6 months and establish ourselves out in a new area, unless we just outright have the cash. But credit wise and money wise, she could buy a house, first time home buyer. I have equity in this one, but I don't know what our possible options are because being that I work for myself, credit's not a big thing for me. Like my credit score is high, but I have no verifiable income. So it's interesting, but we could sell the home and easily buy property and a house somewhere else. But with the way the world's going, frick, it's just as expensive in Kansas as it is in California now. It's fucking nuts. So everything's just gone out of control. But I was talking to her. Maybe she'll let me. Uh, no, my wife's a teacher, even worse. So she could get fired too in January. So we're looking at by January, we might have to sell the house and move. But we're kind of playing this as one of those just day by day things, month by month. We'll see what happens. We're hoping that the mandates get reversed. So we're fighting them to the bitter end. And then come January, our other idea is screw them, let them fire us, let her, right? I work for myself. No one can tell me I can't go fix ACs. I could just be like, okay, what are you going to do? You're out of business? What are you going to take my license? So I'm still going to work. I'll put a Craigslist ad up. Even then, if I can't advertise or can't do stuff, you're going to try to find me. I got friends that know what I do and family members and community members and thousands of customers who've called me already. No matter what, you cannot ever take away my right to, which is why I'm so passionate about people getting in the trades. So if you have kids, I strongly recommend you put them into the trades. Because nowadays there's so many people that can work with computers, electronics, science and engineers and blah, 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 and lawyers and doctors. And that's what everyone wants to be. That's what everyone's going to be, right? But the trades, man, HVAC, heating, air conditioning, electrical, plumbing, nobody wants to turn your heater on or work on your heater. They think it's a base job. They think it's a shitty job, but it takes a high level of intelligence, training, and skill. And in order to work on these units, you have to be all these certified, know what you're doing. And the thing is skilled labor, not basic labor, but skilled labor is becoming a shortage. So fast forward 20 years, and all the youth, nobody wants to be skilled labor, right? So all the smart people become all this other stuff, right? So all that you got left for skilled labor are the lower, like brainwave people, the people that are the criminals or this or that, and the screw ups and mess ups, and they can do some manual labor, but high level understanding of how something works on a real complicated level, like some chillers and boilers, high pressure systems, and all kinds of crazy stuff. that's a bad recipe. So you need someone who's intelligent enough to work on this stuff. And so right now it's a supply and demand thing. And I'm not trying to brag. I don't do this yet, but I was making 100,000 a year 2 years ago, easy. And I know guys that were making 400,000 a year doing heating and air. And not everyone's going to do that, but there are plenty in the future, in the next 10, 20 years, guys that can fix machines, robotics, and controls that are actually physically capable of taking machines and things apart, brazing, welding, soldering, electrical, all these guys that can actually do it and not just understand it, but do it. Because an engineer, most of them can understand it, but they can't do it. Right? You get some really cool dudes that actually can do it all. But even then, they can build machines and do things, but they still, if their AC broke, they don't understand. They might be able to fix a part or two, but still teach their specialties, right? Everyone is always going to want to be warm or cold, cold in the summer, warm in the winter. There's always going to be a demand for like heating and air, electrical, plumbers. So, anyways, long story short, starting to go on a rant, but they will be the middle upper class citizens of the future. They're not going to be poor people. Let's just say that. So, and the other cool thing is check this out. You take your son or your daughter, you put them in a trade school, or you teach them a trade like heating and air. They come out making 50, 60 grand their first few years, but within 5, 10, they're making 100,000 a year. If they're smart, frugal, they're not in jail, they don't have this hole to dig out of within the first few years. Before they're 23 years old or so, they'll probably have enough money to buy their own house, or at least to have the credit built and have everything. By the time they're between 21 and 23, they can put the payment down and get a loan and buy their first house. By the time they're 30, they'll probably have their second or third house. By the time they're 50, they may own 20 or 30 houses and not even need to work another day in their life, as they own 4 or 5, 10, $20 million worth of property, whatever it is. And then the monthly rents from those properties are, let's say, 1,000 from this 1,000. And if he's got most of them paid off over the years of hard work and proper investing, man, and no student loan, no debt. So while the doctor does 8 to 12 years of schooling, a ton of debt, and then comes out making $500,000 or 400, 300,000 a year, but has this very stressful, crazy job, while the HVAC dude can work 5 days a week and 8 hours a day or whatever, own your own business. Sometimes you might work hard, long hours, man. That's going to happen. But my point is the future, I think, is really going to be heavily put on people that are in the trades, and also people that have everyday skills that matter. So anyways, my rant's over. Smash that like button for my trade rant. Oh, man. Hey, we got 8 likes, right? Oh. My dad does heating and air. Cool. Awesome. That's right. Learn to trade. You're getting laid. You're definitely going to get paid. That's for sure. But I had a buddy, man, when I was a kid that by the time he was like 25, owned like 3 houses. Dude's a millionaire. He's super rich. And he did it by being a construction worker, like 17 years old, 18 years old, worked his butt off, saved his money, built his credit, had everything lined up, and went up that ladder, got better, got his contractor's license by the time he was like 21, bought a house real quick, and then invested. He had money in stocks and stuff. He paid attention. He didn't have a family yet, wasn't all caught up in like sex and things with girls at a super young age. I'm pretty sure he did, but he wasn't stupid as far as he didn't, make any kids. And he wasn't like overtly like in any relationships where he had to like share and split. And no, he just did him, worked his butt off. By the time he was like 25, he owned like 3 houses or more, had his own business, was a licensed contractor, and then he got married. And you better believe he had a hot ass wife in his life. He's doing good dude, and working a normal ass job. But most of us were either in 2 camps. We're trying too damn hard to like be like Superman, the doctor, the lawyer, or we want to be what other people push us to be. Well, we really want to do other things instead of following our passions, not necessarily dreams. Because if your dreams to be a ballet dancer, you may be successful, but there's only going to be so many ballet dancers that get paid money, you know? So don't quit your day job while you chase your dream. You should never quit chasing your dream. Chase your dreams regardless of what it is. But at the same time, be critical thinking is smart. Have a job, right? So I don't know how we got on this. Anyways, man, I must be getting a little buzz. All right, well, let's talk fishing now. We got a little bit of time. Let's answer. Anybody have any questions, any topics you guys want to talk about, any tips or tricks you guys want to learn or just discuss? Anything you want to share? The mic or the floor is yours, and hopefully we can, get more people here eventually, and the channel will grow. But I'm still doing me. Sorry, I'm late, by the way. So maybe I'll roll past 9. Usually we stop at 9. We'll see how everybody feels. I know we got some people here on the East Coast. We got the Flunkin CT. I think I Am Not Human is around this side, if I remember correctly. RC Creatives in West Virginia. So, yeah. I always put them all up there. So most HVAC and other trade guys that I know made their big money when they were young, worked a lot, and retired early. Yep, I know a lot of them that are like that. I'm like mid. I screwed up. I had a huge hole to dig out of in my life. I had bad mistakes, so I came under the gun, under pressure, under debt, and I'm here. I'm surviving. I'm doing good now. I'm doing okay. But I'd like to be doing a lot better, and it's just all hard work and dedication will get me there. Hopefully, same thing with the channel. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Tennessee, there we go. I thought you were around here at first, but I'm like, wait a minute, okay, Tennessee. But yeah, that's what my uncle is in Tennessee. My uncle and Aunt Karen and Uncle David, and I've been looking at a couple of states. Tennessee was one of them. West Virginia was one. Kansas was one. Oh, I was thinking about, I don't want, Florida's too damn humid. Certain areas are just like, I don't know. I kind of want like a moderate climate if I can find one. But Modesto, nice to see you on. Wind up, devil. Central Valley here. So California in the house. Huntington. I'm thinking Huntington Beach, right? Huntington, Tennessee, Alabama. I've been here a year. I tell you what, though, I was looking at properties and stuff out that way, and you know what? I might have an excuse to come to the East Coast for like a week and bounce around into a couple different states and spend a couple days in each state. And if any viewers here think their state's like worth moving to, got any recommendations, know anywhere I should stay, or if you're trying to sell your state, which cities and attractions and or places should I hit up in those states when I'm a guy that does love entertainment and fun and craziness stuff like Vegas type or just like big city stuff, but I also love small town stuff, ice rinks, horseback ride, whatever, the outdoors, fishing, hunting, right? So how would you sell your state to me? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'd love to go fishing. So I'm thinking about, I'd have to talk the wife into it. And first of all, I'd have to have the extra money to afford the plane ticket there and back minimum. And then at least have motel rooms, unless I had places I could crash. But I really probably just prefer staying in a motel room. Excuse me. But that would be kind of interesting, is to look at some specific communities and areas of some specific key states that I'm interested in and go check them out and spend a couple days in maybe 2 or 3 states. And maybe if there's guys in those states, because I was looking at West Virginia, Tennessee, that whole little East Coast area strip, and Idaho, Montana. There was some. I want to be somewhere that's green though, but it ain't crazy. If it makes sense. I'm from California, man. I'm spoiled. I go 2 hours. I got the Sierra Nevadas. I got snow. I got ice cold. I got beautiful stuff up there, and smallmouth and trout. Got largemouth bass up the wazoo. Got the Delta, got the ocean, got big cities. I got little cities. There's farms here. There's little quiet communities like Snelling. There are these little hole in the wall places and cool stuff here. A lot of people think California, they think the big city crap. You got the Central Valley. You got a lot of good and bad. You got little awesome little gems here as well. And so I know it's going to be hard to duplicate. That's why California, a lot of people love the place. But when you also think about it, it's like this shite hole, where people are pooping in the streets. The laws and rules are crazy. Just stuff seems to be falling apart. But luckily, in my little neck of the woods, we're doing good, and the people here are good. I don't want to move if I don't have to. So we'll play it by ear. But I might even want to move, period. That's a lie, actually. I kind of do want to move, but it would have been cool to stay in California and move to an area more desirable. But I can't afford all that. California's too expensive. I'm lucky I got my house when I got it. I got it like 115,000. It's worth like almost 400 now. It's crazy. So I'm not going to be able to afford a $500,000 house. Like, I just don't want to do that. So there's conundrums, there's things to think about. But anyways, that has been going through my mind. So that's something I'm tossing up. So I know gas is $5 a gallon. It's freaking crazy. Standing out in your yard right now, that's probably awesome. Chattanooga is great, just in the bad areas. There are shooting every day. Yeah, I want to go make some good content too, but that would be a cool little video of the trip too. Do like break it down into a couple of different videos, but make one big video out of like taking a plane trip to a couple different places, or a plane trip to one place, rent a car, and then smash around, drop it off, and then fly back. But something like that's going to cost me like easy 1,500, $2,000. You got a plane ticket there, plane ticket back. You got to rent a car, gas, and then that's just like, what am I going to do? Sleep in the car, right? I could, but we'll see. And I know getting fishing stuff. So what I did last time when I flew to Florida is I just left all my fishing stuff at home, and then I went and I bought a cheap rod and reel, and I bought some new fishing gear. I fished for a week, and then I gave it all away. Peace, everybody taking off. RC Creative, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. Always good to see everybody on. So thank you for jumping on, and thanks for being part of the channel as always. Don't forget, big giveaway this Christmas, and also November giveaway should be next week. Jeff Garcia was the winner of the last one, so we got to get his his gift card. So we'll still be doing that. He's telling RC peace. All right, cool. Well, glad you guys are still here. Hey, glad everybody who's here is here, period. So thanks for hanging out. Bash Phil, if you move, I'm renting your spot 100. Oh, yeah, that's what I was already thinking. I was already talking to the wife. I'd trust you in this spot, and I'd give you a break. You could have a 4-bedroom, two-story, 3-car garage. You know how my garage is set up, bro. Backyard's huge. So I don't mind you having animals. Just don't tear the house up more than it is. And I know you wouldn't. So I would definitely rent it out to you and save you some money, boss. And I already thought about that. And I can fix, if anything breaks, I'd fly out and fix it, or either pay someone, but, or even show you how to do it. Either way. But saltwater is within an hour. We have all the seasons, poor cities, rich cities, farm type towns. Yeah. Yeah, see, 325. That's crazy. See, I mean, I was looking and seeing like mansion, like almost houses, like just 2, 3 years. No, not probably like 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, seeing them for like 150, 200, 125, seeing little 3 or 4 bedroom like homes for like 70, 60 grand. I was seeing homes on 10 acres, like a 4 bedroom mobile home on 10 acres in good condition for like 125,000. Now it's like freaking 300, 400,000 for that same house. Like, I wish I, damn it, but I didn't have the credit. I didn't have the money. I didn't have any of that. I don't now yet either, but I've got credit now, and my wife has good credit and first time home buyer. So we'll see. But if I have to, I'll sell this bastard. But I'd, Jeremy got, or Bass got it right. I would rather rent this thing and keep it. We already discussed it that if we leave, we might want to just rent this thing out and go just take that leap. So, but hey, that's life. You just gotta live it. As old Trumpsky said, grab it by the. You only got one. Just go do it, man, and be happy and put a smile on your face. And when you get knocked off the old horse, get the hell back on and try again. That's all I can say. Same thing with fishing. Sometimes you lose them, they break your line, you dump your fish, or you don't have a good time, or you don't catch fish. You should always have a good time fishing. Connect with being outside. It's just healthy for you. It's better for you. It's like soul cleansing. I don't know. Fishing is just something. I'm glad my buddy Bass there turned me on to it like 30 years, 28 something, 29, 28 years ago, whatever the hell it was. I don't know when the first time we went fishing was. I know we were super young though. True story, man. Me and my buddy, we used to ride on bikes at like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, all the way out to the lake, like 7, 8 miles away, in like the third or fourth grade type, fifth grade, to go camping out at the lake and fish. I want to say we were like the fifth grade, sixth grade. When I think of California, I think of housing being like 700K plus with 10 to 15K in taxes. No, no. I have a 4 bedroom, 2 story, 3 car garage, big ass lot, nice front yard, big old backyard. I got like every fruit tree you can imagine. I bought my house for $120,000. Oh my God, 115 to 120K in 2012. It is now worth 400,000, just about maybe 350, 400. So, and then we're in the Central Valley. You look up Modesto, Merced, Fresno area. Housing here is not, if you're looking at like a 4 or 5 bedroom, 3,000 square foot, brand new home in a really nice neighborhood, yada, yada, whoop, whap, bang, bam, with a swimming pool or something, yeah, you're looking at 600, 750 something, maybe 500, 600. Depends on the city that you're in too. If you're in the Bay Area, you're looking at easy $1 million in most homes. If you're in Santa Cruz, same thing. Monterey, yeah, but I could also buy a new house. See, when I say a better area, I don't mean the big cities. I'm talking somewhere like up in Mariposa, up in the mountains. I'll go find myself a nice little quiet village area where people mind their own damn business. There's not gangs, there's not much problems. And if there's violence, it's usually created by your own dang self, right? And people are pretty much free to do what they choose. I could go buy a property that's in a decent area out there for probably 4 or 500,000. 500 probably, just a little bit above where I'm at now. So I could sell this and use it as a down payment and stay in California. But I wouldn't want to do that when I'm looking at my wife might get fired in 2, 3 months, right? And she's a teacher. So we were looking at it, and hopefully they'll give her they said that if you don't want to get it, you can get weekly testing, which sounds all good and all. But what happens if a year or 6 months goes by and they say, we're tired of weekly testing, now you just have to have it? Because if they get more and more people used to it, and then what it is they push and they take and they take. When have you ever known the government to do something and then stop it or draw back on it? They do something, they do that, and they do that, and they do that. And then so many years later, they're even more. And then they do that. Next thing you know, they're in your freaking grill, right? 9/11, Patriot Act, they're in your wallet, they're in your cell phone, they're in your computers, they're in your toaster, your refrigerator, your smart TV, anything connected to the internet now. And you'd think it would have been a story like, you're freaking smoking crack, tinfoil hat wearing fool. But if you look at, actually your smart refrigerator can spy on you for NSA. And believe it or not, there are meta data centers all around the United States that are big ass government buildings that are just filled with servers and things. They record every conversation, every phone call, every text message, every video, every chat, every blah, blah you've ever done of everybody. It's like a storage of dirt. So in the next 20, 30 years, if you want to be a senator, a lawyer, or president, they're going to have at their disposal every stupid thing you've ever said or even thought of down there. So it's crazy. That's coming. It's here. So it's like, anyways, how did I get on that rant? Damn it, that's twice now tonight. I'm on a fishing channel here. Next thing you know, I'm blabbing about something else. Talking about homes, right? Yeah, it's all planned. Yeah, government's trying to look at our accounts. If we have over $600 or transactions of over so much, then they said, no, we'll change it to 10,000 in a year. Though it's in a whole year. Who hasn't had 10,000 go through their bank? That means you made less than 1,000 a month. A 16, 17-year-old kid working at McDonald's makes more than that. Come on now. A side hustler selling fruit on the side of the road probably makes more than that. It's like, come on, they want into our pocketbooks, and then read the stories at the same time in their infrastructure and other bills, and their spending bills, they're putting in loopholes for rich people. Yet they want to come after people with $600 or more, but if you're rich, they're putting intentional loopholes and all kinds of things in there. Dirty stuff. I'll be right back. Gotta go pee again. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys this too. We got like 10 of these donated to us, like as well, that we're going to be giving away for Christmas. And so they're not bikes. So they're for like toddlers, like 2, 3 years old, to just sit and like kind of scoot along, almost like a scooter that you sit on. So, we got a bunch of bikes over there as well, but we got like 10 of those and like 6 or 7 bikes. So I'm super for the kids for Christmas. I wish it would have been as big last year, but it's not over. So, if you know anybody who's interested in supporting the cause, turn them on to the channel. Let them know, hey, there's a guy out there helping out for Christmas. So just thought I'd give that last little shout out. Hopefully we can increase awareness of what we're doing this year. All right, so I got to text old Bass Chaffel about where we're fishing tomorrow, and hopefully we'll go. it feels like it, doesn't it? The government's going crazy. But you know what? All we can do, that's why, try to keep it off that kind of stuff for now. Is if you guys are interested in that, go check out Common Sense Talks, my other channel. Man, I go off on stuff. But that's why it's so important that we fish. We got to have a chance to just relax, de-stress, because it seems like it's the end of the world, and it very well may be. Either way, we can't control it. The only thing we can do is be good people, treat each other good, be respectful, and be a good person, or be the best person you can be. At least try to be. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to fall on our face. We're going to fail. We're going to hurt. We're going to have bad times, but we're also going to have good times, and we're going to succeed as long as we keep trying, right? So that's the kind of tenets I try to live by. Just be a good person. And the more we live like that, I think maybe eventually we can change or save the world, right? But starts with at home, starts with each and every one of us. And that's where I think fishing is so important, because it's a way to de-stress, relax. It's peaceful. It's awesome. It's good for you. It's good for the environment. Fish management's important. It's healthy to eat fish every once in a while. It's good for the fishery. I'm more of a catch and release guy, but it's also the connection, the vitamin D, the sun, the outdoor, the fresh air, the exposure to pollens and elements and things to build your immune system up. I just think it's so important to get outside and do things, hunt, fish, even garden. Hell, just get outside, do stuff, outside stuff, sports, ride your bike, throw the football. If you got a kid, take them out. When's the last time you threw the football or the baseball or something? That's what I try to do with mine. And, but it's easier to say it than do it. There'll be days or weeks or go by where I don't get to do much, but I got 4 kids to try to show them all love and time, and I play soccer with my son, but do a bunch of stuff. But fishing is one of my favorite pastimes. I love sharing it with the kids, sharing it with friends. I'm always happy to go fishing with anybody. So if you're local and you want to go fishing, reach out. I'm always down to go. Boat's in the shop, so we'll see when that gets out. But again, it might work out, man. I might be coming to a town near you on the East Coast. Might be trying to look at some potential just investment, in my future, my family's future. So we see how it goes, and it all depends on things, right? So life's never a given. And then sometimes we make the best plans, and then just life wrecks our plans, and we just got to kind of surf the waves of life, and we end up wherever we end up. So, you'll be like, I'm going to do this and that, and then just, but if you're fluid and flexible, that's how you usually can overcome it and achieve your goals. So we'll see how it goes. So interesting new year, I think, is going to be coming up ahead for Common Sense Fishing, the channel, for the family here, for just my family and friends. I'm hoping it's going to be a better year. I'm optimistic and hopeful. And regardless, even if it goes to hell in a handbag, I'm always going to try to keep a smile on my face, produce good content, give all the best tips and tricks. And then, even then, my best tips and tricks. But I always want to try to crack you smile. I make you crack a smile. I want to give you some entertainment and a good laugh and a good time. So again, if you caught my Delta video, I had some good laughs and great times with the fellas out on the Delta. Corn Pop was a bad dude. So I love how the video starts with that. This guy's got a jerkbait fish, and he's reeling it in like he doesn't know he has a fish and there's weeds, but it's only like one little weed. Then get it in, and like the fish is as big as the weed, and it's like this big. And I'm telling him, I'm like, Corn Pop was a bad dude. It was funny. You'd have to be there. But anyways, if you get a chance, go check that video out. Salute and cheers. All right, folks, I think we're going to hang out for a little bit longer, right? Let's maybe go till 9:30. Any topics, any tips or things you guys want to get? Or 9:15, something like that, 9:30. we'll give you guys a chance to ask questions, cover any topics you guys want. Otherwise, we'll jump off here soon. Appreciate everybody joining this Monday. Sorry that I missed it, but pay attention for the November giveaway will be coming soon, either sometime maybe this week, Friday, or next Monday. Any new lures I got my eyes on? Oh, man. I'm looking at... no, not really. A swim bait, I think there's a couple swim baits I'm looking at that I might want to throw this winter. So I might invest in a nice swim bait rod, or well, I have a nice swim bait rod, but I meant a nice swim bait lure, and take them out there and try to get on some glide bait fish this winter. I really want to try to catch my first mondo on something like that, over 5-pounder on a big swim bait, wake bait. So going to get outside of my comfort zone, but also one of my big targets is to go after smallmouth, maybe hit up like Bullard's Bar and some of those, Trinity and a bunch of other stuff for some big spotted bass, some smallmouth. Try out that INU rig. INU rig. INU rig. I get it. There you go. Started looking at people's bank accounts. Oh, you know it, man. Reading comments and I'm getting a little behind. I was like, oh yeah, what the hell? I'm gonna smash this last one. Thanks everybody for jumping on and commenting. Looks like we had a good little session tonight. I think we got up to like 9 or 10 people at one time. So, hey, we got 8 likes, 9 likes so far. So if we can get one more, that'd be awesome. So if you're watching, you haven't hit the like button, get us to 10 likes. And if you're watching this afterwards and it's not live, thank you. I'm surprised you made it this far, and welcome to the channel. Smash that like button, leave a comment. One other thing for you guys, loyal, awesome followers, if you guys get a chance, when you guys see my videos on YouTube, even if you can only watch 30 seconds or a minute, try to leave a comment. Just something simple, not a little spammy, because YouTube might think you're a bot. Like, oh, hey, great video or something like that, because it will help YouTube recognize that the content is generating, what would you say, a connection with the YouTube community, so it's going to recommend it more. So what will happen is sometimes, if the guys are watching the videos and they're like, oh, cool video, but they don't say anything because they're always on my live streams or this or that, YouTube's like, well, his own subscribers aren't even commenting on it. You see what I'm saying? So like, I got X amount of subscribers, I get a video, it gets X amount of views, and only 3 people comment on it, and I've got 1,000 subscribers. YouTube's like, well, this video is not worth sharing. So the best thing you can do to help the channel out is, if you're a subscriber or a member already, that's the best way. Memberships help. I do giveaways every month. So if you guys want a chance at some free stuff and to help support the channel, that's the best way. Or super chats and membership, stuff like that. But the big thing is just comment, right? So if you guys get a chance when you're watching the video, it pops up, try to jump in there, leave a little comment. I beg of you, I appreciate it. That will help the algorithm go. I notice the videos that get the most comments usually get the most push and views. Then I'll watch, because I can see the curve and the lines and everything. I can see how the video does over time. And sometimes what will happen is I'll get a video that does very well. It'll get a lot of likes. It'll get a couple comments. And after a while, it gets views, and then no comments. Then all of a sudden it just drops off. And then you'll look, and the watch time's pretty good. Like, people are actually watching the video. Like, they're watching it. Then they're done. They skip, or whenever they're bored, they move on. But they're not interacting. So that kind of interaction helps. So anyways, I hate to beg. What's up, 209 Bassin? How you doing? Just chilling, talking about all kinds of shit, actually. Had a couple beers, 9%ers, man. So hope you're doing good this week, 209 Bassin. I think I'm going to be out fishing tomorrow from shore. A little rundown, boat's in the shop, getting it fixed up, doing some shore fishing. Boat could be in the shop about a couple weeks to a month. Hope it's not in there long. Sooner the better. I'd like to get it out. Um, and yeah, we're doing our giveaways. So giveaway next week probably for the November. Every member gets something Christmas. And yeah, so Shore Skunk Lake down. I'm gonna be talking to Bass Chaffel about where he wants to go tomorrow. I was at Lake McClure today, so I'm willing to drive around and fish all over. So tomorrow I have off. I'm probably gonna do some work for a friend Wednesday or Thursday, but tomorrow I do have off actually. So point will be where to go, where to go. So I'm going to talk to Bass Chaffel. Skunk Lake might actually be a good choice. Like I want to go shoot some shore videos. So we're gonna either go do some pond fishing, and then like I'll let him dictate, I guess, what ponds are probably worth the risk, because most ponds we know you get kicked out of or they're illegal. But we also know some ponds that are open to the public and actually have some nice fish in them. I've just got to keep the location of those ponds a secret. You can see the pond, you can see us catch the fish, but I just can't tell everyone where it's at because they're actually open to the public. And if people know those ponds are there, they'd go destroy them and just wouldn't be fun. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I might want to do Skunk Lake though. I got skunked the other day. I went in the wind, and I know Bijong and a couple other guys went and did good, got like 20 fish. But that lake, it's all about where you're fishing, and I'm not comfortable. I don't fish near other guys, so the whole rocky shoreline where all the best shore was took up with the trout fishermen, and I just kind of fished this one little area, and then packed up, went to the other end of the lake, and then fished this other little area. And I threw a bunch of different stuff, but I didn't have any luck. So I'm hoping to go get redemption. So Skunk Lake's been on my radar to go put a bruising on it. I know. I'm pretty sure they're at it. I would assume two different spots right now. I would assume they're either near the pier and the dock, out as far as you can cast probably, or they're going to be out by the launch and the rocks right there, or they're going, the spillway and all that, or they're going to be in the back where the canal comes in and the weed lines and stuff. So those would be the three spots I'd put them: along the rock wall where the little fake lighthouse is at, all the way down, to the launch ramp and stuff in that area. And then the pier area, I would say that they're probably at. I always caught them off the pier. Or at least caught a few there. And then the back of the lake has always been good too, where the water comes in. So if there's any fresh water coming in from the rain, from stuff like that, sometimes they'll be over there. But again, I'm not a Skunk Lake pro as far as I haven't been fishing out there a lot lately. So I defer to like Ansky. I defer to guys like you guys. So, I know Eli and a bunch of other guys out there are like catching them doing what they're doing. And that lake is very dialed into spot orientated where a lot of fish were congregating in the area. So I 100% believe you. I would just say those would be my three stabs or guesses at where they're at. So it'd be interesting. I might want to go fish tomorrow, Skunk Lake. It just depends. If Bass Chaffel goes and wants to go, then we'll probably head. Or maybe we can hit a bunch of different spots, like go fish for a few hours at Skunk, go hit a couple ponds up, because I'll be driving us in the truck. So I'll pick them up early. We'll probably go hit up some spots. I don't know. We're shore fishing. So the cool thing about shore fishing, we're not stuck there all day. We can go shore fish a few hours here, go shore fish a few hours there, go shore fish a few hours there. So, shore banging, it. Exactly. Go hit up a whole bunch of different spots and shit. Just be like bloop, bloop, bloop. Especially like when you're like Bear Creek fishing. Oh, then you go to the Bear Creek Spillway, go to the Flying M Ranch, you go to the other little dam, you go to Four Corners. there's a couple little spots everyone knows to go hit up on a couple different areas. You can fish the bridge, the homeless area, down from mid and past is usually pretty good for bass, Bear Creek. Um, Merced River is closed right now, but I know uh, Skunk Lake's been putting out some decent fish. So, well, for sure. Oh, glad to hear, boss. Appreciate it. Thanks for supporting. You know what I'm saying? If you're still watching, then of course, as soon as the boat gets ready, for sure we'll go. And then was gonna say tomorrow I'm open to fish wherever you want. So you let me know. You want to do like a shore banger and go the 132 and do the old stomping grounds? I'm super down. And maybe we can also hit is it Carmelita or whatever? I don't actually shouldn't even say the name. But if you want to hit like the homeowners association off of the one by Barrett's Cove as well. I think that's still got enough water in it right there. Going off of what the hell is that street on the left, right across from Barrett's? You know what I'm talking about. There's a couple of them up there. So yeah, let me know, dude. Just text me a time right now, and I'll be ready. I'm down to go whenever you want. The kids got school, so everybody here is gonna be up like 6 in the morning. So I can get up early. I can sleep in. So if like it's one of those things you don't want to go till later, let me know. I'll roll later. If you want to go early, let me know. I'll go earlier. So for those of you who are watching right now and you're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm talking to a good friend of mine. So, but to you guys too, right? I'm always down to go fishing. Everybody knows I'm a super cool dude to go fishing with. As far as I don't cowfish with anybody, and I'm real open like that. I don't care. I don't try to judge too much. Just don't be crazy and weird, man, and I'll take you fishing or go fishing with you, or at least be my kind of crazy and weird. Yep, yep. Sweet. You know the pond. Yep, yep. Okay. You know how it goes. Four Corners is shallow right now, usually really good when the water drops. Yeah, dude, you'd be surprised how many shore spots we know. Me and Jeremy, me and Meadle, we know a lot of them. And shout out Meadle, got most of them. On most of all the spots I've learned, oh, good old best friend put me on them. Most of the fishing stuff I learned, good old best friend put me on them. Actually, the spinner bait, I kick his ass with that lure for a while, and they used to make fun of me. That was their way of getting back at me. Is they called me a cheater because I would take the spinner bait with no skill, barely, right? No, literally no. Like if I was bottom bouncing, I used to ask my buddy, like he would be like, "Ooh, I got a bite," and he'd miss his fish. I'd be like, "You got a bite? Like, did it go like this?" And he's like, "No, bro. I'm pretty sure I got a." I'm like, "How are you pretty sure?" Like, I used to be confused. Like, bro, dumbass, you either get a bite or you don't. Like, come on now, like all stupid, right? Because I would power fish. It was too easy, right? So I chuck the spinnerbait out. You either reel it fast or you reel it slow. And with occasion, and then I started getting good, right? Where I would throw my spinnerbait out and I'd work it like a jig. I'd let it fall to the ground, and I'll pull it up, let it fall to the ground, do that. I used to, slow roll it, or I would do the whole like pulsing, like retrieve. I do all this different stuff, and I catch all these fish too. I mean, luck box. Sometimes there was one time we were pond fishing, and we had an aluminum boat, right? And it's me and two of my best friends, and of course, there's only two oars. So my best friends are oaring. They're trying to get us from point A to point B on the pond. So I toss my spinnerbait out. And I just sit there and hold it and troll it all the way. Halfway, boom, I get like the pond record. It was like only 3.5, not quite 4 pounds, but it should have been like a 6 pound bass. It was like this long and skinny, like a trout. This big old long trout bass. It looked like a trout, but it was a bass. It was super monster long, and it was just deathly skinny, like it was starving. And I remember, I think we weighed it was like 3.5 pounds or something, close to 4, maybe, I don't know, but it should have been 5 or 6. It should have been a big old fish, but they used to make so much fun of me and call me spinnerbait Sam and all this stuff. So I got all frustrated, like ah. So I stopped throwing the spinnerbait, and I got better with all these other lures. And thank goodness, they did that because it got me out of my stuff. But I don't throw a spinnerbait much anymore. But I swear I've got some hogs on it, and I love the spinnerbait. One of my favorite lures. So that's what I used to do. Spinnerbait, crankbait, top water, or big old like 8 inch or 6 inch curly tail rubber worm with Texas rig. That's how I fish. Period. That's it. That was it. Nothing else. It was either a bottom bouncer, and it was always Texas rig, and it was always 6 or 8 inch curly tail type of worms usually. And I threw a spinnerbait, I threw a crankbait, and I throw some top water. Those were all I fished with for like so many years, and I used to actually almost compete with like good fishermen just by just sticking with those and then switching between them. And I got made fun of so hard for being like that I got all flustered, and so I don't fish with those. I don't fish with those exact lures anymore, barely. Well, crankbait I do, but a spinnerbait I put down. I don't throw a Texas rig. I'll throw a jig. I used to hate a jig, so I'll throw a jig more. And top water I still throw. A lot of different top water though now. Used to either be a popper or a hula popper or a pop R or like a buzz bait or a buzz frog or something, or like a rubber, like a rage shad or a rage frog. Right? Oh man, I know now if I picked up a spinnerbait, I'd probably feel like I have zero confidence, but I don't. I eternally have confidence with the spinnerbait. The only problem is now is I've conditioned myself to like not throw it. So usually when I throw a spinnerbait, I find myself chucking something else, like a crankbait. But there's plenty of times I've caught plenty of fish with spinnerbait, and I've gone back to it. Went out to the Delta, had a great trip at the Delta, and I caught a bunch on the spinnerbait the last couple times. So spinnerbait's been getting picked up much more, but it's a big fish catch and lure, and it's something guys sleep on. That they're great lures. They're little mini A rigs. They're the A rig before an A rig existed. Freaking little A rigs, if you think about it. Oh yeah, see, bank fishing. That's the thing. When you bank fish, I tell my buddy, man, like I can get my lures out of snags, okay, but I hate getting snagged. You lose a lot of money. So bank fishing has always been a bitch for me. So growing up, that's why I fished power fishing, spinner baits, crankbaits, top water, right? Now, if I bottom bounced, it was with the cheap Texas rig setup because I could break 100 of those, right? I could buy 2 or 3 bags of bullet weights, buy a couple bags of hooks, and I could snag all night, whatever. Well, all I needed when I caught that fish, I sure as hell when snagged fish comes off, swims around, right? I could catch it. But yeah, I used to get snagged a lot, but we also catch a ton of fish, Texas rig, 60 feet of water, catch 4 or 5 pounders all the time back in the days at McClure. We used to go out to Barrett's Cove at nighttime when it was so cold, your hands would hurt and you'd be wearing gloves and they would hurt. Your face would just be like nostrils, like frozen booger. Like it just hurt. It was just super cold. And we would just toss our 8 inch or 6 inch curly tail worms with a 1/4 ounce weight with spinning rods because we didn't use bait casters back then. As far as we can. because you know you can cast like a trout fisherman, cast a mile, right? So your bait's probably in 100 feet of water, and we just let it sink and let it sink and let it sink and let it sink, and then we just work it back until we started catching fish, and then we try to kind of gauge how far we had casted versus how much we'd worked it in. Then once we kind of knew where they'd at, we'd try to target that area. And we used to catch a ton of monster bass at McClure, night fishing like that. It was either bottom bouncing Texas rig or power fishing. We just walk around throwing spinner baits and crankbaits all night. And we fish a lot at night. That was another thing. I'll tell you, I've always preached. I'm going to get back on this. I don't do like cycles, right? Because you're always giving tips every year about this period or that period. But night fishing is king. Night fishing will kick out the biggest fish almost anytime, everywhere, any place. Night fishing produces monsters. Yeah, I don't care the winter, summer, spring, fall, whatever. Night fishing, these idiots can't see you just like you can't see them. And they're much more like hunter, or they eat much more by like other senses than sight. Sight isn't their main sense at that time. Smell, feel, hearing. Yes, they can see. So you want to get the lure near them. And then you need it to make a reaction is so good at night because you can search and you can cover a ton of water. And then when your lure comes near the fish, it has a split second decision to eat or not. And at night, a lot of times the fish also pull up shallow. So if you've been struggling because they're suspending out in 40 feet or 100 feet of water, at nighttime, they all usually kind of congregate towards the shore, even if it's down in 30, 40 feet, or if it's up in 1 or 2 feet of water. They pull from out suspended and they pull into the shore. So nighttime's just always been really fun. Now, the only problem is night fishing from the shore can be also dangerous, right? You think fishing from the shore, you can trip or fall in, break an ankle, get bit by a snake, whatever. It's worse at night. So there's some trade-offs. But I loved fishing, at Barrett's Cove at night because they closed and they couldn't kick us out. And we just fish all where you're illegal, where you're not supposed to fish. But we didn't catch and eat, we just caught for fun. And we catch all these monsters all over the place. So that was some of our my favorite memories, man, fishing as a kid out at Lake McClure and Lake Don Pedro, Blue Oaks, Fleming Meadows, Hatch Creek, and the mine shaft, Solomon's Mine, and then also, Barrett's Cove, McClure Point, Horseshoe Bend, all that good stuff. And jig is like, I used to hate the jig. Now I freaking love it. I don't go anywhere with that jig tied on. All right, so anyways, man, it's 9:30. Time flies when you're having fun. Smash that like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys and gals. We're going to go ahead and get off. Homie, if you're still watching, send me a time and a place, and I'll be there, to pick you up in the morning. So, guten Abend, sayonara, ciao, tschüss, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, adios, amigos. We'll see you on the next one.